Hello everyone, myself Dr. Rajni Agarwal, Professor and Head, Department of Odontology and Oral Implantology, Surendra Dental College and Research Institute, Shri Ganganagar. Now today let's have a talk about chlorhexidine mouthwash, which is the most readily available mouthwash, over-the-counter mouthwash to be used. What is chlorhexidine? It is a broad spectrum antimicrobial agent which is cationic bisconite. It can be used as topical antiseptic, and in dental practice we generally use it for inflammatory dental conditions such as gingivitis. It is forerunner and benchmark against which most other topical supragingival anti-plaque agents have been compared. So it is the gold standard mouthwash which is used in dentistry. Coming to the history, it was developed in 1940 by Imperial Chemical Industries. In 1954, it was used as antiseptic for skin wounds. Then, after that, it was used in medicine, surgery, obsgyny, urology, as well as for pre-surgical skin preparation. Initially, in dentistry, it is used for pre-surgical disinfection and in endodontics, but in 1969, Schroeder was the first to investigate it as a plaque inhibitory agent. A definitive study was conducted in 1970 by Lowe and Schroeder that showed that it inhibited the plaque regrowth and also in development of gingivitis. Coming to the structure part, the structure, it is a symmetrical molecule, that is on both the halves they are symmetrical by having a chlorophenyl ring on both sides with bigonide groups on both sides, and the connecting connection is the central hexamethylene bridge which connects the chlorophenyl ring and bigonide on the other side. So it forms a symmetrical molecule. It is available in three forms: chlorhexidine digluconate and acetate, which are water soluble, whereas chlorhexidine hydrochloride salt, it is sparingly water soluble. Most readily used is chlorhexidine digluconate because it is water soluble and it is very easy to prepare. Coming to the mechanism of action, it is a very good antibacterial and a antiseptic agent which at low concentration act as bacteriostatic, that is it prevents the growth of the bacteria, but at high concentration it is bactericidal, that is it kills the bacteria, so that effect will be irreversible. Chlorhexidine, it adsorbs to the surfaces including pellicle coated teeth and shows the bacteriostatic action which lasts for 12 hours, producing the antibacterial environment into the mouth. This mechanism of action, as we explained, this is the molecule which is shown in color. This is the chlorhexidine molecule which is cationic in nature. That is, it has positive charge over the chlorhexidine molecule. So, as it is positively charged, it is adsorbed onto the negative groups of the bacterial cell membrane, that is the phosphate groups which are present on the bacterial cell membrane. This chlorhexidine, it binds to the surface, enters into the bacterial cell and causes the leakage of the bacterial cell components which are low molecular in nature. When it causes the leakage, it causes the bacteriostatic action. But when at high concentration, it causes the coagulation of the proteins which are present in the bacterial cell, causing the bacteriolysis, that is the cell death occurs of the bacteria, and it is called the bactericidal effect, which is at a high concentration. This is a very good anti-plaque agent. Now, as we know, plaque formation occurs in steps. First, the slippery glycoprotein, that is a pellicle layer, is formed. Then on this pellicle layer, bacteria cell, it adsorbs to that surface, and then the plaque maturation occurs. This chlorhexidine, it has actions on all the aspects. First of all, this is the picture showing the tooth surface, which has the sites for the chlorhexidine molecule which are negatively charged. This chlorhexidine, it binds to the surface of the tooth surface and causes the prevention of the glycoprotein layers which are derived from the saliva to attach to the tooth sites. So these sites present on the tooth, they are occupied by the chlorhexidine, making the prevention of pellicle layer to be attached on the tooth surface. After that, second stage is when the bacteria has to attach onto the layer. This chlorhexidine, it binds to the tooth surface. The other sites, which are cationic sites, which are present on the chlorhexidine, they bind to the bacteria, and this chlorhexidine molecule, it surrounds the bacterial cell, preventing the bacteria to attach the tooth surface. So it has occupied the sites which are present on the glycoprotein layer as well as on the bacteria which are about to bind to the tooth surface, that is the pellicle layer. So it prevents the second layer also, second stage also. Then after that, it prevents the plaque maturation by precipitating the slippery factors, that is the agglutination factors, also displace the calcium from the plaque matrix. So it has prevented the initial adhesion of the slippery glycoprotein layer, initial bacterial adhesion to the tooth surface, as well as the plaque maturation. Now this chlorhexidine has many good effects such as the pin cushion effect, that is on one side it will bound to the tooth surface and on other sides will bind to the bacterial cell membrane, that is called a pin cushion effect. One charged end of dicationic chlorhexidine molecule bind to the tooth surface, other remains available to interact with the bacterial membrane as the microorganism approaches the tooth surface, causing the antimicrobial effect which is not available with other antimicrobial agents which are used as the mouthwash. So this is exclusive effect which is given by the chlorhexidine. Also, it binds to the tooth surface for a longer duration, that is 12 hours. When we use the agents such as providine iodine, it binds to the hard or soft tissues only for 1 hour. So the patient cannot use it for the mouthwash after every 1 hour. But chlorhexidine, it has the substantivity or adsorb onto the soft and hard tissues for 12 hours. So it has very good substantive property which is influenced by concentration of medication, pH and temperature, and length of contact of solution with the other oral surfaces, which was described by Ponswell in 1970. Also, the bacterial resistance. On long-term use, it has seen that bacterial resistance does not develop. Also, it has shown that we can give it to the pregnant female as it has no teratogenic potential. It is used widely as an adjunct to mechanical plaque control in the initial periodontal therapy. It is not that we whole and soul give only the chemical plaque agents such as chlorhexidine. We have to adjunct it with the mechanical plaque control agents. It can be used for the pre-surgical preparation as well as post-surgical in periodontal patients. It improves the healing after routine oral surgical procedures, even after denture constructions for maintaining the plaque. Fixed and removable orthodontic appliances patients with can be prescribed chlorhexidine in handicapped patients as well as high risk caries risk patients which cannot maintain the good plaque control by the mechanical therapy, so we can use the adjuncts by chlorhexidine. In medically compromised patients who cannot maintain can use chlorhexidine. Patients with denture stomatitis, aphtha ulcers, acute ulcerative gingivitis, they can also be recommended chlorhexidine. Patients with post-extraction bacteremia, dry socket, they are also advised chlorhexidine. But the chlorhexidine has minimal side effects, but staining is the most important side effect. It causes staining of teeth, gingiva, oral mucosa, tongue even after the use of 2 to 3 weeks. Now, how does it cause the staining? It causes staining by degradation of the chlorhexidine molecule, which causes the release of parachloroaniline. Also, it causes non-enzymatic reaction, that is the Maillard reaction, which can be responsible for staining. It causes the protein denaturation resulting in the metasulfide formation of which causes the release of sulfide bridges from the proteins present in the pellicle layer. These free sulfahydryl groups, they bind to the iron or tin, causing the pigments. Others, that is anionic dietary chromogens such as tea, coffee, beverages, they have anionic sites which bind to the cationic sites of the chlorhexidine, causing the insoluble colored compounds, causing the staining of the teeth. Now it causes the denaturation of the surface proteins which are present on taste buds, resulting in the taste alteration. As it causes the antibacterial effect, that is, it kills the microbes, it causes the bacteria to be destroyed. These dead bacteria microbes, they act as a seeding agent on which the calculus formation can occur, so it can result in increased calculus formation. Also, the deposits can be there, cause the stenosis of the parotid duct, so causes the parotid swelling. It causes a precipitation of mucin layer, thereby reducing the lubricating effect, resulting in oral mucosal erosions. It is ototoxic. When it is inserted into the ear canal, it can cause the rupture of the eardrum, leading to deafness. Also, on the other hand, minimum absorption through skin mucosa GIT has been noticed, so it is said that it is less toxic. Systemically, it is less toxic, so we can use it as it is widely used. It can be used as mouth rinse, sprays, gels, also called chlosides, can be used as chewing gum. Slow releasing chips can be inserted by the dentist, called perio chips. Varnishes can be applied by the patient, and most easy to use is toothpaste, it is incorporated into the toothpaste so that patient can use it comfortably and patient compliance can be achieved. Now there is two types of dosage they are available, that is 0.2% as well as 0.12%. In UK, it was recommended that 10 ml of 0.2%, which contains 20 mg per volume, can be used twice daily and can be available as the over the counter. But because of the certain side effects, it was said that low concentration should be advised, such as 0.12%, but the quantity can be increased, such as the 15 ml can be advised to the patient, which can be used twice daily, and it was recommended in America. So two regimes, 0.2% available commercially as Rexidine, Hexidine, Clohex, but 0.12% is available as Periogard. We ask the patient to rinse twice daily, but have to be rinsed after brushing at least half an hour, or ideally 2 hours before rinsing the brushing has to be done. Now why it is so? Because the cationic action of chlorhexidine binds to the anionic components of the dentifrice, thereby reducing the effect of chlorhexidine. Also, refrain the patient from tea, coffee, cold drinks, red wines, beer, cigarettes, as it causes staining. So this is the references. So thank you.